All right, let's take a look at this article from Real Simple. It says 12 simple daily habits that will make you happier, according to our psychiatrist. Let's see what they have to say about this. It says, if you think being a happier person isn't in the cards for you, there's some serious behavioral neuroscience that will change your mind for good. Literally, we have more control over our happiness than we think, says Alyssa Epel, PhD, professor and vice chair in the Department of Psychiatry at the University of California, San Francisco, and author of The Stress Prescription, 7 Days to More Joy and Ease. Interesting book. Maybe I can check that out. So it says, we can take the reins and discover what we can do now. Small things that can boost feelings of joy or contentment. It goes on, this isn't Apple's way of saying we can just click our heels and make happiness happen, but her research indicates that no matter our innate temperament or external circumstances, we can sustainably increase our feelings of well-being. According to findings from the Big Joy Project, a worldwide citizen science endeavor that Apple co-created, the answer lies in the power of habits. Habits are amazingly powerful. I 100% agree, and I'm curious to see which ones we get into on this one. It says specifically micro habits, bite-sized, actionable, everyday behaviors and activities. I never actually heard it phrased that way, micro habits, before. I thought it was just habits. I think habits can be small or larger efforts as long as they're consistent and they remain with you as a habit. But either way, it goes on, consciously adopting positive habits and mindfully paying attention to their pleasant effects harnesses the power of our brain's reward system. When a behavior triggers a positive emotional response, we're likely to remember this and to do it again, Apple says. Awareness of how something makes us feel good can help us develop new positive habits. And I do really like that because I think getting used to developing and fostering one habit, one good deed leads to another. One good thing does lead to another. So anyway, it says, done with consistency and commitment, these micro habits can actually rewire your brain to move through the world with more positivity. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of making these new phrases that address things that I think are already in existence, like building habits in general. I don't know, it's just my opinion, but calling something micro habits may not be necessary, but either way, it doesn't matter. It's just a phrase, I suppose. Anyway, it says, if that sounds good to you, check out these micro acts drawn directly from the Big Joy Project. Happily, you can start them today. So it says, okay, let's take a look at these. I think these are really cool. 12 habits, they say, lead to a happier person. So I'm really curious. I love the idea of developing good habits that help you feel better and just be a better person. I've been a big proponent of self-development and adopting new good habits as I've gotten to know what works for me throughout my life. And this kind of thing is a lot of fun for me. So I like to see what they have to say. So it says, do 5 daily acts of kindness. It says, can you try to do 5 kind acts for others? Apple asks, think about gifting someone else with their own mini moment of joy. Send your friend a funny text message, call your grandfather, write a positive comment on an Instagram post, pick up a piece of trash, bring your doorman a latte. No need for big gestures or price tags here. I really like that. I think any way of serving someone else is one of the best things that I like to do that keeps me, feeling good and like I really did something right. Next one says, see the humor in life. It says, humor increases feel-good neurotransmitters and reduces our physiological stress response. Interesting. For a week, make a nightly practice of spending a few minutes writing down 3 funny things you heard, saw, or did during the day and why they're funny. Okay. It can be a line from a TV show you watch or a goofy song that you made up for your cat. In one study, subjects who did this exercise every night for a week reduced their depression almost immediately, and even 6 months later, they felt happier than the group who didn't do the exercise. But that's great. I think focusing on anything that's going to bring you some humor and joy, and writing it down, I think is a great idea too. So I actually really like that one. It says, experience nature every day. That's totally me. I am a huge fan of getting outside and just taking it all in. There's so many ways I like to enjoy the outdoors, so I know I'm gonna like this one. Let's see what it says. It says, go outside every single day and let the natural light, sounds, smells, and surroundings lower your stress and lift your spirits. It says, get outside and notice the views or urban greenery around you by opening up all of your senses and moving in a mindful way. I remember hearing years ago that there was a new service that I had never heard of before coined ecotherapy, which was, and if you've ever heard of this, my understanding of it is you are just taking yourself outside into nature and getting some sort of cathartic experience from being outside in nature. And when I experienced that when I was a little kid and developing, practicing going outside and enjoying nature and stuff, I always thought of it as just being outside. But it's funny to me that we have a name for it now, ecotherapy. Correct me if I'm wrong and let me know in the comments if that's not the right definitions for that, but it reminds me of that. Next one it says is reframe negative events to find a silver lining. So bad things happen and they will keep happening. Acknowledge the pain, the inconvenience, the anger, no toxic positivity here it says, but then work hard to shift your perspective by finding the benefit within a daily hustle, Apple says. It says one helpful modification if you're feeling particularly stuck in your pessimistic ways. Remember, that's just a habit you can break. It says start even smaller, see if you can shift your perspective to find something more neutral about a setback or grievance. That situation stunk, but can you tolerate it? Will it pass? Have you gotten through something similar before? That's pretty cool. I think, yes, I'm not sure I would phrase everything that way, but I do like how it's saying you can kind of shift your perspective on the little things, and I 100% agree with that. Next one, it says capitalize on positive events for others. It says this goes along the lines of showing kindness towards others, but it's really about listening and being present for your loved ones. Solicit and actively listen to stories about what's going on, what's going well in other people's lives, Apple says. It's cool too, I like that. Next one says, affirm your most important values often. If our actions and life decisions don't mesh with our deepest values, unhappiness is rarely far behind. Remind yourself of the things you value most in the world and take stock of whatever or not you're living for them. Rank the importance of 4 core values and write a brief account of how they show up in your life. Apple suggests return to this list of values often to help you make hard decisions, to steer yourself back towards contentment and ultimately find more purpose and happiness in everyday life. So I'm curious what you guys think of this article. I'm not going to go through everything here, but it also, the headlines for the next few are let go of anger through compassion, cultivate a sense of awe, imagine being your best possible self in your relationships, take a self-compassion break, focus on gratitude, do digital detox, and there are the sources for that. So I think that's a really cool article. If you want to check out that 12 simple daily habits that will make you happier, according to a psychiatrist from Real Simple magazine. I think that was a really cool kind of overview on some things someone can do for themselves to keep them feeling good. And of course, everyone is different. Everyone will find out what works for them, but there were some things in this article I really like, so feel free to check that out. I'll try to link that in the description of this video for you to take a look. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you later.